It was in 2015. I graduated so it was an institute. It's called the A1 Institute of Business and Media Studies. Yeah, like any other students, you always expect big. You have those big dreams. You know, when you go to school, you always dream of having a better job, a office job. That's what you always think. And I was expecting that after school, I'll have a very good job, probably journalism, because I was offering journalism. So I was expecting to have a big station where I'm working from, because I knew I had the capacity to deliver. As a journalist, I had tested myself and I knew my capabilities. I knew after school I would approach a big media house. They offer me a job. But from my school time, I was always dreaming of joining NTV. That was my dream. I was already working with a radio station. It's called Musana FM. I was working there, so I realized that for me to achieve the other big dream, let me first be contented with what I have, because I had a small job, so I had to be contented. I had to work hard to prove to my listeners, to prove to my bosses that this is what I can deliver. This radio station that was operating within my area, so I went there and I said no, they could give me the opportunity because I knew I could. That's the feeling I had. I had trust in myself. I knew I could do it. So I went and approached them.
So how much were you getting?
Before you go to the salary, I had no money. But this employment was a bit far from my home where I was staying. So it meant that I had to go and rent. But before going for renting, I had to ride a bicycle on a daily basis. I was riding over 30 to 40 kilometers. I was riding a bicycle. Very early in the morning, I could ride a bicycle to the workplace, then I go back home. And it became so hectic for me. So what I decided is to permanently be staying there. So I had to rent. But even renting, I had no money. I had to call my mother because I wasn't staying with her. I had to call her and borrowed some money from her. So I borrowed 60,000 from her. I went, I got a house, I was paying 20,000. Yeah, it was very much. It was very much by that time. So I went and paid for a house.
How much was the rent fee?
The rent fee was 20,000 per month.
So you had a balance
So
of 40.
I didn't have a balance because I paid 60,000
Oh,
for 3 months. Yeah,
And
so when
eating?
I could just gamble. When I went to the workplace, they were providing at least breakfast. They could give us breakfast. So when I made sure that I can find breakfast. So when I got the breakfast, lunch, I could gamble. So when I found that life it was not so easy, the first month they gave me 20,000 as salary. Yes, 20,000. Can you imagine?
For rent, precisely.
For rent, precisely. So, and it was paid in the corridors. I wasn't paid from the office. The manager came to me, found me, they called it, go with this. I couldn't bargain because I knew I was just starting. I didn't have that moral authority to demand something big, because even my contribution to the station wasn't all that big. So they could treat me the way they were. By then I was doing news, because when I went there, they first put me in the news department.
How did you enter there? First take us to that situation. How did you enter there? Did they call you?
No, I told you I approached them. When I approached them, I wrote a letter and took it myself. You know, I was a very big fan. I was their very big fan. So after school, it was very easy for me to go and get a job from them, because they knew me personally. I was a regular caller. I could call regularly. So it was very easy. They could not, actually it was, I think they just feared chasing me. That's why let's find something for him to do, and I think that's why.
They never wanted to lose a fan.
Yeah, they never wanted to lose a fan. That's how they ended up employing me. From 20, I think it took me 3 months. I was getting 20,000 for 3 months. And
Which year was that?
2011. Yes. So from there, I was working. First, I began with a program. They gave me a program. It was an evening show. I was doing it with 2 other people. One was called the Kanyande Kwe Super, and another one was called the Sewachidi Yanga Derek. So we were doing it in the evening. But I could go early in the morning, like I told you, to meet the other breakfast. So from that time till evening, I was waiting for a program. I couldn't do anything. I was like moving around here and there, trying to pass time, to make sure that by the time your program starts, you're ready. So I tried to make sure that at least I look for something. There was a school I went and applied. I was having the other employment. They were giving me 20,000, and I went to a school, a primary school. I applied to be a teacher because I needed some other money. I was not having lunch. I was not getting supper. So I had to try other ways of how I could survive. So when I went to the school, they gave me the employment. So from morning to up to lunchtime, I could be at school teaching. Then from lunchtime to the evening, I could go to the radio and present my program. They were not giving me lunch. I wasn't able to get 2 meals a day. If I was able to get at least lunch, then supper would go minus getting it. So I would eat lunch. I could even eat lunch at around 5 p.m. That would be my lunch. Yes. So that it could take me, by the time the night comes, I am not hungry.